Kiev, Ukraine, Ivan Drago wakes up his son Viktor to start training. They later go to a boxing match where Viktor competes against another man. With his massive size and strength, Viktor knocks out his opponent. Watching them is a promoter named Buddy Marcelle. In the 3 years since he made a name for himself, Adonis Donnie Creed has managed to score 7 wins after losing to Pretty Ricky Conlan. He is set to go up against Danny Stuntman Wheeler, played by Andre Ward. Donnie is visited by his girlfriend Bianca just before the match. Donnie steps into the ring and fights Wheeler, eventually winning and earning the cheers of thousands of fans. After the match, Donnie approaches Rocky Balboa with an engagement ring that he wants to give to Bianca, but he isn't quite sure what to say. He asks Rocky what he said to Adrian when he proposed, and Rocky says it was something stupid, but it was his way of saying how much he loved and needed her. He tells Donnie to let his heart do the talking. That night, Donnie tries to propose to Bianca after she gets out of the shower, and he expresses his feelings toward her, but her hearing aid wasn't properly tuned, so she didn't hear anything and just sees Donnie on one knee with the ring. Bianca is initially overwhelmed and isn't sure what to think, but after Donnie assures her how much she means to him, she accepts his proposal. Rocky visits Adrian's grave to talk to her. He mentions that he hasn't spoken to their son Robert since he left Philadelphia, and he hasn't even met his grandson. The Dragos arrive in Philly, with Buddy backing them. Ivan visits Rocky's restaurant to face his nemesis for the first time in 30 years. Meanwhile, Donnie and Bianca go out as they watch a news report on Viktor having challenged Donnie to fight. The news people don't fail to mention why this match is one to watch, being that Viktor is the son of the man who killed Donnie's father. Ivan tells Rocky just how much he lost when Rocky defeated him back then. He lost all respect from Russia and his wife left him and Viktor, so this match is especially personal to Ivan. During one of Bianca's concerts, Buddy approaches Donnie to essentially goad him into fighting Viktor. Afterwards, Donnie goes to talk to Rocky about the match. Because of what happened to Apollo when he fought Ivan, Rocky doesn't want to see history repeat itself. He tries to convince Donnie to rethink his decision to fight Viktor, but Donnie is adamant in going along with it. Rocky decides to sit this one out and refuses to train Donnie for this fight. Donnie and Bianca, now settling in a new apartment in Los Angeles, later go to the home of Mary Ann, played by Felicia Rashad, to try and tell her about the fight. When Donnie tries to approach the subject, Mary Ann instinctively guesses that Bianca is pregnant. Although the couple laughs it off, Bianca then goes to take a pregnancy test, which confirms that she is. Donnie then goes to tell Mary Ann about the fight. She is obviously not thrilled to hear that Donnie wants to fight, nor does she want to hear him involve her or Apollo in his reason for going through with it. Donnie goes to find Tony Little Duke Evers, son of the man who trained Apollo. He asks Little Duke to train him for the upcoming match. Soon, a match between Donnie and Viktor is held. Prior to the match, Ivan makes a comment about Apollo that almost sends Donnie into a rage. During the match, Donnie seems confident in himself, managing to get in a few good headshots to Viktor, but Viktor comes back with some powerful shots of his own. Rocky watches the fight from his restaurant. Viktor delivers some hard punches to Donnie's ribs, eventually fracturing them. He lands one more brutal rib shot, which takes Donnie down, but Viktor goes for an illegal headshot that knocks Donnie out. Viktor is disqualified for this move, while everyone else watches with concern as Donnie is out cold. Donnie spends time recovering, but his spirit and drive is broken. He starts to become distant from Bianca. Little Duke later approaches Donnie and tells him Viktor wants a rematch since Donnie still holds the championship title, and he has to pick an opponent to fight soon or else he will forfeit the title. Donnie just appears disinterested. To help him out, Mary Ann sends a message to Rocky, telling him Donnie needs him, written on the back of a sonogram picture of Donnie and Bianca's baby. Rocky makes a surprise appearance at Donnie's apartment to inspire confidence in him. The Dragos have a celebratory dinner for Viktor's success, which is disrupted when Ivan's ex-wife and Viktor's mother Ludmilla shows up with a new husband out of the blue. Viktor is displeased and walks out, but Ivan follows him and insists that these people are there for them. Eventually, Bianca gives birth to a baby girl that she and Donnie name Amara. The doctors then do a test on Amara to see if she has the same hearing problems as her mother. To their dismay, the doctors determine that Amara is born deaf. Outside, Rocky makes an attempt to call Robert, but he backs down. Rocky decides to start training Donnie for the rematch by bringing him to a desert location to reinvigorate his spirit. Meanwhile, Ivan puts Viktor for a more intense and harsh training session. The night of the rematch comes and takes place in Moscow. The crowd of Russians boo as Donnie comes in, but Rocky, Bianca, and Marianne are there to support him. As the match begins, Viktor takes the lead with several shots to Donnie, including back at his ribs. Viktor wins the first couple of rounds, but Donnie perseveres and never stays down. Rocky tries to give Donnie a method of taking Viktor down, while Ivan tells Viktor to break Donnie again. Soon, Donnie starts to land more effective blows, even managing to take Viktor down at least twice. When it appears that Donnie is winning, Ludmilla leaves with her husband. Ivan and Viktor take notice, and Viktor appears to lose the will to win. Donnie starts laying in more hits until Ivan, who can no longer bear to watch, throws in the towel, thereby conceding the fight and allowing Donnie to remain victorious. Ivan goes to his son, who brushes off his father, thinking he will only give him hell for the loss, but Ivan instead embraces Viktor. Rocky finally travels to Chicago to visit Robert, and he meets Robert's son Logan. Robert introduces Logan to his grandfather and invites him inside. Rocky gives his son a hug. Donnie goes with Bianca to visit Apollo's grave. He makes peace with his father's name and legacy, now that he is in the process of shaping his own. He then introduces Amara to her grandfather.